What's going on, YouTube? This is Dave's Daily Trades, where I bring you daily AMC technical analysis, price predictions, and of course, the latest, greatest news. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some great technical setups for AMC. Things are looking really good, and especially after that reversal that we had today. We are going to be taking a quick look into the Chinese economy because, boy, are things looking bad for them. And this is in relations to the Evergrande disaster, but of course, a lot more data behind the scenes than a lot of us initially saw. We're going to be going over the debt ceiling and why this is such an immense issue, and of course, how this relates to AMC. And lastly, the bullshit inflation numbers that did come out, negative 5.3% or whatever it was, is just a load of shit. But first, guys, like always, we're going to take a quick look at the AMC technical analysis and go over some price predictions. But before we do, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more content. All right, guys, into today's video. So, of course, we did have a little bit of drop in pre-market, which led to a sell-off right away. But, guys, this was bullshit. Of course, you guys who have been with me for quite some time now, this is nothing different from what we've seen before. But what I love to see is just the pure evidence of apes being hungry as hell, buying up these dips and moving us back up into almost positive territory. And at one point, right around 2:30 today, I believe it was, we were actually in the green. And especially to see us drop all the way to $43 and hit a high over here of just about $47.77. Guys, that's a $5 gain on the day from the low point of today. That's really great to see. But looking at the technicals here, a few things I want to note. So really the biggest thing is from this low point in the morning at $43.77, we had a very bullish trend line going throughout the day, just moving straight up. So that was purely apes buying the dip. And I mean, if you guys need any conviction about that, go on Twitter, look at all the comments of people, I'm buying this dip, I'm throwing more money. Because we're hungry, we know these are fake sell-offs, and we know it's bullshit, like I said before. Anyways, to really end the day, mostly flat for the most part. I do love to see that consolidation right over here at this levels, above where we, I guess you could say, opened for the day. So that's really great to see. And I'll just outline that box for you right here. This area right here was a pretty decent area for consolidation that I love to see, especially since yesterday we did not get any of that. It was just a straight up red day and closed very close to the lows. So really, this looks like the reversal, and we are going to jump into the 1 hour chart, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So, of course, for the past, I would say several weeks now, we have been stair-stepping our way up, and of course, this is quite literally exactly what's going on. So what happens is, after this double bottom here, right at that $28 level, then that's what started our stair-stepping. So, of course, we have a big green push, we come down. Big green push, come down a little bit. Big green push, and you see this. This is stair-stepping, guys. This is stair-stepping 101. And every time we start to make higher highs on the recent charts. And that is exactly what we're looking for. So this little sell-off right here, don't let it fool you, because this is the exact same thing that happened over here on the 27th, which actually led us to break through this massive resistance zone, which we haven't been able to break out since July 6th. So, of course, it's slow, it's steady, it's okay. But with these dips that we see right here, A, it's great buying opportunity. Of course it is. But B, on the other hand, you do have the technicals. You give the technicals a chance to breathe. Now, if we take a quick look on the 1 hour chart on the RSI, of course, I always talk about the RSI because it is one of my favorite indicators. We were right up here at the 70 range on the RSI, right in the region of overbought. So taking this quick cool off here, coming back down to touch this 30, which of course is oversold, gave us a chance to recoup and really begin our next move up. Now, where do I put this next move? what I'm really thinking is it's going to be something similar to this right here, where we do come down like we had today, and we are going to start that run up past that next resistance level. So really my expectations for this next drop in reversal is going to be somewhere around this high $50 range. I'm going to say anywhere from 58 to 60. That's really where I want to see us by the end of the week. Now, of course, I'm not sure how plausible that actually is. It would be great to see it. But on the other side, guys, there's a lot of things playing out behind the scenes, of course, in China, but also with the bullish flow that's been going on. I hope you guys all follow Unusual Whales. Of course, there has been some bullish AMC call options coming out of very high volume. So that is something that we always need to pay attention of because options really controls the market. Anyways, guys, we're going to take a quick look at the one-day chart. Still making progress. And really what I love to see is I love to see this candlestick that we saw today. Let me just zoom in a little bit. We came down all the way to $43 and change. Didn't like that. Of course we didn't like that. Apes were hungry as hell, like I said before. We bought that dip up. We started reversing back into this trend line that we've been on. And look at every time, right here is a perfect example, 820. We had this same reversal candle that we saw today, closing just below the highs, exactly what happened. What happens the next 2 days? Boom, bam. We went from a low of, give me 1 second here, call it $32, all the way up to that resistance level at $48. And that happened over the course of just 2 trading days. We had 2 very bullish candles right after this. So that is exactly what I'm talking about. And that is exactly what I think the next couple of days are really going to look like, where we're going to start these moves up. Of course, since we did touch this trend line very perfectly. So that's what I'm thinking for the next 2 days and, of course, the rest of the week. Of course, we'll see how my predictions pan out. But, of course, we have some really interesting information to talk about. So this is John Hollowatch on Twitter. Posts some really good information about technical setups and options flow. Definitely give him a follow, guys. Really great information. But this is the technical setup that he posted about today. And this is on the 12-hour charts. And, of course, Webull, I don't know how to change my my hour chart, so we're just going to go off of this right here. But look at these 2 charts. So on the left-hand side, you do have the end of May and early June. Of course, June 2nd was that massive run-up. And over here, you have present date. And what does this look like? It looks like the calm before the storm. That's exactly what it looks like here. So, of course, we did have a few red days like we're having right here before that massive move. And that is really that slow and steady stair-stepping that has been happening. It happened back in May, late May. It's happening over here. And it's about time we break out to those all-time highs. Now, this is something that I was covering on Zero Hedge. I was reading late last night, and this is just super interesting information. So, of course, everyone knows about Evergrande. They are really on the verge of bankruptcy right now, which is very bad, of course, for the people of China who have invested into their company, and, of course, for the rest of the economy when this starts to trickle over. But I started doing some digging into what the rest of China is actually looking like because, of course, if you have one giant company, real estate company, who is feeling these effects, most likely it's going to be all around, and that's exactly what's going on. So I'm just going to read this very short paragraph right here, and of course, this will be linked in the description below. Definitely worth the 10 or 15 minute read. Absolutely. So according to Nomura, year-over-year growth in volume terms of new home sales, existing home sales, and sales dropped further to negative 26.6%, negative 46.6%, and negative 38.3% in the first 11 or 12 days of September. From, this is where it gets interesting, negative 22.5%, just about negative 40%, and again, negative 21.9% in August. So this is 2 straight months of very serious declines. But of course, it gets a little juicier. Now look what we have bolded over here. Land sales, this is like actual physical land, in value, plunged negative 90.4% year over year for 1 through 12 September, from negative 65.0% in August. And I mean, you can look at some of these graphs right here. Of course, this gives you more of a visual of exactly what's going on, and it does not look pretty. So really, my expectations is this is really going to start trickling into the United States, and everyone, the entire world, are going to feel the effects from what's going on in China right now. And of course, guys, what we talked about yesterday in yesterday's video, we found the raw beta of AMC to be just about negative 15%, which is extremely bullish if we do have that pullback in the overall economy and in the overall stock market. Now, that is going to play out huge for us in the next upcoming weeks and possibly in the next month and a half-ish, when this starts to trickle into our own economy. And of course, it is eventually going to do this. So this is another interesting article. I believe Boss Blunt actually posted this on his Twitter today. So thank you for that. That man has such good information. I absolutely love that guy. Anyways, this is from The Hill, and CEOs urge Congress to raise debt limit or risk avoidable crisis. Now, this is another really interesting letter, and this is something that I've been covering on this YouTube channel now for, just about 3-4 weeks. Really interesting stuff. Of course, guys, I believe it is, there's a few websites that track the Treasury balance sheets right now, and it is dwindling down. Right now, I believe it's somewhere about $200 billion, but of course, likely on an average day, we're burning through just about $30 billion, which is a lot of money. Do the math. We don't have that much time left until we actually default on our debt obligations. So there was this one interesting quote here that I did want to read out to you guys. Failure to lift the U.S. federal debt limit to meet U.S. obligations would produce an otherwise avoidable crisis and pose unacceptable risks to the nation's economic growth, job creation, and, of course, financial markets. And this was the CEO of Walmart, and then CEO Doug Micklin as well. So, of course, this is something that happens all the time. A lot of the big CEOs come out, talk to a lot of people in Congress, talk to Gary Gensler about what's going on in the economy because they play an important part in our economy. So they are shitting their pants right now. If this debt limit the debt ceiling, if this does not get raised, there are going to be some serious consequences to pay here. And of course, when you tie this in with the real estate market over in China and how this could actually come and affect the United States, those are two really serious issues that are coming out within the same timing, and of course, on top of an over-leveraged market, which is a ticking time bomb. And that really brings me perfectly to my next piece right here about the inflation numbers. Of course, I believe the inflation came out, it was right around 5.3 or 5.4, of course, negative on the inflation, which is not great. But something really interesting, the true inflation rate is just about 13%, which is ridiculously high. And guys, I do apologize. I just said negative 5% inflation, negative 5.4. Don't listen to me. I meant 5.4%. So scratch that. Sorry about that. Just had to clear that up. Anyways, what the reason behind and how they calculate this is back in 1980, they did have this way, and they changed over to this new system that was able to really downplay what the true inflation rate truly was. So that is exactly what happened. And if we look down and use the old metrics to calculate what inflation is actually looking like, we're coming out to just about 13% on inflation, which is ridiculously high. That is absolutely insane. So just to recap, we have ridiculously high inflation. We have a debt ceiling that may not be raised. That could result in us defaulting on our debt payments, which drives the stock market down. We have a real estate bubble absolutely bursting in China, and we're just waiting for the effects for us in the U.S. to feel those effects. And of course, we have a negative beta of almost 15% on AMC, and this is really where it gets interesting. So this is exactly what I'm talking about and why I think the mother of all short squeezes is only weeks, maybe even a month away from us. And these are the metrics that I'm watching that I truly believe will cause this MOASS, because that's when the market really starts to plummet. You have your risk, and your margin requirements go through the roof. And it's just a matter of time until those small hedge funds go under. And then it makes its way up to the medium hedge funds and then to the large hedge funds. And that's exactly what is about to play out. And we're really sitting at the very early stages of it. And Evergrande was the first little stepping stone that needed to fall down, which is really going to start to bring down everything. So guys, that's all I have for today's video. Of course, I really think the next couple of days for AMC is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to still take a look at all of these statistics coming out, keeping an eye on China, and of course, updating you guys along the way. But peace out. Hope you guys all have a wonderful night. Tune in for tomorrow's video. Peace.